right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. We're going to go over the Unit 7 practice test. As you can tell, I got a little baby behind me here. If she starts to fuss up, I'll have to pause a little bit here. But she's with me this morning. She's watching some Sesame Street stuff. So if you hear that as well, I apologize, but this is what it is. We're going to go over our practice test here one by one. Use this as a guide for your test in class. Number 1. A triangle with side lengths 8, 6, and 10 is a right triangle. So we're using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And you want to know, does a squared plus b squared equal c squared? And remember, c is always the biggest number. So we're going to see then an 8 squared plus 6 squared, does that equal 10 squared? A and B, doesn't matter which one's which. You just pick one for each one and go. Oh, just remembering that C is always the largest number. So we're going to say 8 squared plus 6 squared, that equals 100. Is 10 squared the same thing? Yes, it is. And since it is the same thing, it is a right triangle, so the answer is true. True answer. Number 2, you're going to do the same exact thing. You're now given a triangle. Remember, C is always the number across from the right angle. So we want to say, does 5 squared plus 8 squared equal 9 squared, our hypotenuse? Again, use your calculator. And we'll have 5 squared, try that again, 5 squared plus 8 squared, enter. And that gives us 89. And is 9 squared the same thing? Is not. They are not the same answer. Since they are not the same answer, is this a right triangle? No, it is not. Next question here. We are using this formula to solve for our missing variable. Remember, C is always the largest number, and it's always the hypotenuse directly across from the right angle. So we're going to do the square root of C squared minus A squared. So again, I'm just going to get my calculator out and do, erase this here, and I'm going to do the square root of 17 squared minus 8 squared, and I'm going to get 15. So my answer for number 3 is 15. That's all it is. Remember, you can always pause the video and go back and rewind. And which formula am I going to use here? Well, this is similar to the one we had before. Okay, our other one looks similar to this, where this one was missing. Okay, same type of situation. You're missing a leg. Excuse me. We're missing a leg. If we are missing a leg, that means we are looking for the square root of C squared minus A squared. Well, C is 20. 20 squared equals 400. 9 squared, which is A, is 81. So we want to do 400 minus 81. Which one is that? Well, whatever one on yours. We should have the square root of 400 minus 81. Halfway done. Number 5. This is a good opportunity to draw some pictures. Jordan, let's say Jordan's standing here, is standing 20 feet away from his friend. He was going to throw a football, and it lands. This is the football being thrown 5 feet away from his friend to his right. His friend is facing this way, so this is his right. He said he was standing 20 feet away. We want to know how far the ball traveled here, and we want to round to 1 decimal place. Well, since we are missing a hypotenuse, we're just going to do the square root of a squared plus b squared equals c. So our numbers are then the square root of 20 squared plus 5 squared, and that's going to give us our answer. We're going to bust out our calculator again, and we're going to do the square root of 20 squared plus 5 squared. That's going to give us a big long number. We got to round to 1 decimal place. So our answer is going to be 20.6. So we're going to put in there 20.6. Number 6, another word problem. We have a ladder that is 25 feet long and a building that's on fire. Okay, and we want to get the ladder to the 24th floor, which is 24 feet above the ground. And we know that the ladder is 25 feet long. We want to know how far away from the building we need to place that base of the ladder. So it looks like we're missing here a leg. So that means we're doing the square root of c squared minus a squared. Go in our calculator. The square root of c squared minus a squared, and that equals 7. And there's your answer. That's all it is. Number 7, distance formula. When we have it on a graph, we are just going to make a right triangle. Count your change in x, which is 2. Your change in y, which is 4. And then we're going to use our formula, a squared plus b squared, and take that square root. Well, 4 squared is 16. 2 squared is 4. 16 plus 4 is not a perfect square. So if you don't remember how to estimate, you can bust out your calculator if you need to and do the square root of 20, which is 4.4721. Which we would round to 4.5. 4.47 rounds to 4.5. We were finding the approximate length of the segment. And last one, we're using the distance formula. Remember, when we do these, we need to remember what is x1 and x2. Thank you, baby. Appreciate it. All right, this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So we're substituting into our formula x2 first, which is 5 minus x1 squared, plus y2, 12 minus y1 squared. To get rid of that, 5 minus 0 is just 5. 12 minus 0 is just 12. That would be the square root of 25 plus 144. Let me get our calculator. 25 plus 144. And we get 13. And there's your answer. And that's it. It's all done. Remember, again, you can use this as your test guide. Please email, message, whatever it is to get a hold of me so that you can ask questions. Have a wonderful day. And good luck on the test.